Good afternoon, everybody in the land of Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, depending on where you're watching me from. I'm going to be chatting to you today about leadership. I just want to make sure that I am live. So give me a sec. Let me just see that I am live on my different channels. If you are watching me live, drop a comment. Let me know you're here. Just say hey. If you are watching this on the replay, also drop a comment so that I know if my video has reached you. Let me adjust the mic, get it out of the way. Let's see. Just checking my phone. All right, yeah, looks like I am live. So guys, my name is Llewellyn Oliver, and today we're going to be unpacking, just for context, we're going to be unpacking a really interesting read. It's not a new book, but it is a powerful book. So I'm going to be chatting to you today out of this amazing book here by John Maxwell called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Don't worry, I'm not talking about the whole book, but over the next 21 days, we're going to be unpacking this book and just discussing and having a chat about it, about the truths that it shares. And I want to invite you to join me on this journey. So for today, I'm going to take about 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm going to talk to you about the law of the lid. This is where John Maxwell actually sets the scene for the laws, the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, and he brings in the first law, which he calls the law of the lid. And I want to start by asking you a question. What is more important, effective management or effective leadership? In this book, in this first chapter, John Maxwell talks about states that argues that leadership ability is the lid that determines a person's level of effectiveness as well as the organization's effectiveness. So it really is an interesting topic to talk about. Because he goes on to say that your leadership ability, whether good or bad, for better or worse, always determines your effectiveness and the potential impact of your organization. And in this first chapter, he tells a really interesting story about two brothers, Dick and Maurice McDonald. And you would know them from McDonald's fame. Who were really great managers, and they had a great idea, and they really revolutionized fast food restaurants as we know them today. But they were good managers. Unfortunately, they weren't good leaders. Their leadership skills weren't up to par, so they could only go so far. And it took Ray Kroc getting involved in the organization. An interesting thing that I found about Ray Kroc's involvement was that he came to the McDonald's brothers as a salesman selling milkshake machines. And obviously the McDonald's group was his biggest client. But this man saw McDonald's for what it could be. He had a vision for its potential. And that's the first thing that leaders need to have, is a vision. So it took, in the first 10 years or so, it took the McDonald's brothers all that they could. It took them, through all their attempts, they were only able to sell 15 buyers into this concept of franchising the McDonald's chain, and only 10 of which actually opened a store. But in 4 years, because of the leadership style of Ray Kroc, he succeeded in opening 100 stores. So it leads me to this amazing graph that I want to share with you, where John Maxwell talks about success without leadership and success with leadership. And I'm going to ask you a question. How much time do you spend each week doing something to improve your leadership skills? Because if you look at success without leadership, according to this graph, if your leadership was on a level, if your success and your leadership level was only on a 1, but your level of effectiveness was on an 8, this is the height that you would reach. Now you would become successful because the McDonald's brothers were successful in their time. They were living a lavish lifestyle. They couldn't spend all the money they were earning, but because they lacked leadership, they reached a ceiling, they reached a lid in what they could achieve. But in walks a milkshake salesman named Ray Kroc, and because of his successful leadership style, and the fact that leadership has a multiplying effect, if his leadership style was on a ranking of a 6, when you combine it with the effectiveness of an 8, you can see in this graph what it did to the organization. You can 500% the effectiveness of, you can increase the effectiveness of your organization by 500% if you just focus on the leadership. Now that's an interesting challenge. So I want to ask you, go back to my question. What would you have to change in your daily schedule or your daily routine to focus on improving your leadership skills as much as you focus on improving your other skills? Are you sharpening your tools every day? Are you doing what you can to become a more effective leader? Do you see, or do you think that leadership is as important as other skills in your career? So here's some ideas for you as we start this journey. Reading a leadership book, that's a great activity to actually improve your leadership skills. One of my mentors actually said, if you want to think like a millionaire, act or hang out with millionaires. And if you want to, in the same token, if you want to think like a leader, if you want to be a better leader, hang out with better leaders. But if you can't, if you don't have access to leaders, what you can do is start by reading a leadership book. Take a leadership class or view an online leadership lesson. You know, in today's world, there's so much online learning that we have access to just at the click of a button. It's just up to you to decide how much emphasis do you place in developing your leadership skills. You can talk to a coach. You can find a mentor. Guys, there is so much benefit in finding a mentor that can actually work with you to develop the leader within you. So yeah, I want to read an excerpt from this book. Once again, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, as a closing remark for today. And hopefully tomorrow we'll have more people that will join us on this chat, because this is a conversation I'd love to have with you. And John Maxwell says that leadership is leadership. No matter where you go or what you do, times change, technology marches forward, boy, don't we know that. Cultures vary from place to place, but the true principles of leadership are constant. The laws can be learned, the laws can stand alone, the laws carry consequences with them, and these laws are the foundation of leadership. Once you learn the principles, you have to practice them and apply them to your life, because leadership ability is the lid that determines a person's level of effectiveness. If you'd like to get a copy of this book that I'm reading and join me in this journey, or if you just want to hop on every day as we talk about key insights from the chapters as we go through them, I will be dropping the link where you can access the book in the comments, and I will see you again tomorrow at 3:15. Once again, guys, this is Llewellyn. I'm on a journey over the next 21 days to improve my level of leadership, and I'm starting with the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. And I would love to invite you to join me on this journey of discovery and this journey of learning. If once again, if you've watched this live or if you're watching on the replay, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions or comments about leadership, and let me know if you find value in the topic of leadership. I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to chatting to you in the days to come. Thanks, and see you soon.